Okay, welcome to Tabletop Union. I am Steve, and today we're going to look at Warcry Nightmare Quest, the last box in the Heart of Gur Gnarlwood season. The next year apparently is not going to have these. I'll believe it when I see it. And they're just going to be doing more smaller single releases of warbands and stuff. I have a feeling that they might release some of the unique terrain bits during that time as well, but we'll see. I've gotten all 4 of these now, and I'm mostly satisfied with the terrain. There's something about this one that I'm not too satisfied about. We'll get to that when we get to it. This big box, flip it over. We've got a little look here. So this box contains the 64-page Might and Madness Warband Tome, a 22 by 30 double-sided game board, 30 battle plan cards, 12 fighter cards, 2 ability cards, and 3 divider cards. It includes 16 Citadel miniatures. We have the Stormcast Eternal Questor Soulsworn and the Flesh Eater Court's Royal Beast Flayers. Also, it comes with a Realm Shaper engine, 2 Gnarl Oaks, 2 Rope Bridges, 5 obstacles, including Ribcage, Ruins, Palisade, and Shattered Posts. So just the standard scatter terrain. So by now I've got like at least 4 of those sprues. Probably a couple more. And this is where we get to the part that I'm not super happy about. The Realm Shaper engine, cool. It's nice to finally get like a substantial bit of the ruins of the Seraphon ship. But these 2 Gnarl Oaks are the exact same as the ones you get in Heart of Gur. Now, I know someone was ready to start typing out that each box has the same ones. But in like Blood Hunt and I forget the other one, the one with the Siege one, Sundered Fate. That's it, Sundered Fate. They had these 2 trees were definitely in it, plus the 3rd one that's from Heart of Gur, but they had stuff you add on to make them different. So it'd be like different platforms to attach, or palisades made of bamboo, like walls. And these don't have it. These are just the exact same as the ones from Heart of Gur. Now, that'll be useful in the case of this one, I guess, because I managed to screw up putting together this tree and had to fill a gap, so I have a second chance to do it right. But anyways, that's my one sort of gripe. Let's just open this up. This just came about 2 hours ago. I haven't opened it at all. Hopefully we don't have any damaged parts. Up it comes. And box of plastic. So I'm going to go into more detail with these, but there we have the Stormcast Eternals. Here we have the Beast Flayers. We have Tree, Scatter, Tree. And the Realm Shaper engine, which is 2 of the same sprue, and each one makes like half, and they just glue together. Got the fighter. This one was in pretty good condition. If I cared about putting stuff on the walls like this, then I'd be happy. Big bag of bases. The Stormcast have big bases as usual. There's the cards, the Warband Tome, and instructions, and faction cards, and the board, which I'm not going to open up, but I imagine is very similar to all the ones we had before. Let's get this out of the way. Bring it in a little closer, hopefully. And I will open this up. We can have a look at the components. Now, these boxes don't come with any dice or any of the tokens used to play the game. These are assuming you already have those. They were available in the Heart of Gur box set. So that was like the starter. Now there's supposed to be a new starter set coming out, I think in the summer, but it could be the fall. That is a small scale sort of battle. It has 2 warbands from Underworlds, the Crimson Court Vampires and, oh boy, my brain has just gone blank on what the other one is. Yep, can't remember. And it comes with like a bit of graveyard terrain, but that should also include the tokens. So if you don't have them and you can wait, you can get that, and that should be a good way to start playing Warcry. So first we'll look at the book. Let me just put a little more light on this. Oh, that's too much there. So this is Might and Madness, Warband Tome. So we're very familiar with this, with these. It gives sort of an overview of like what's going on, the stage and the battle for the Gnarlwood we're at. It's got nice artwork, like we just saw that on the divider. And it goes over some of the locations. Just, background on everything, relics of the gods, the annals of the quest. I'll give background on the Quester Soulsworn, the Royal Beast Flayers. The Flesh Eater Courts are really interesting. They are completely mad. They live under delusions that they're royal courtly lords and knights and squires and such. They think they have gleaming armor and noble weapons, and they go on their noble quests, but really they're just degenerate creatures that feed off of other creatures. Cannibals, not cannibal. They don't really discern. They just want meat and blood. And Might and Madness. It's a very nice photo. So here we get our first look at the Quester Soulsworn in full. Now, as for the sprues, you get one sprue twice. So you'll notice that there are shared bodies, like legs and that, here. Like, I believe that and that is the same ones. That and that same ones. And that one is the same one. This one's just sort of turned a bit more. But it includes enough to make them look different enough, in my opinion, that I don't have a problem with that. Would it have been better if, you know, it didn't have this? Yes, of course. And I'm curious how these are going to show up in AOS. Are they going to be taken as like a unit of 6 like this, or units of 3 like this? Or with like this is a Night Relictor, which already has a model, but it's a really dumb model in my opinion. It's got the wooden sort of fanny pack. So it's really nice to have a different Night Relictor. And they're all Beast Flayers. So we got the Royal Flame Master. And he can be built with an axe or a spear, I think. I don't believe it changes anything. It's just for looks. And there might be like a different head option, I believe. And we have our Ghoul Gore Squires. So, you know, that delusion that they're nobles and all that. So these are sort of beefier normal ghouls. We got the Beast Flayer Baron and the Awful Hounds, which sort of work together in terms of he can like give them movements and stuff. These, they look like sort of horrible baboons. Apparently in the lore, they are ghouls that have just gone really feral. I think that's kind of dumb because they don't look like ghouls. They don't look like they were once human at all. But there we go. And then we got ghoul trackers, which are sort of your standard itty bitty ghouls. And the Forest Fury. So this is campaign, the Nightmare Quest campaign, basically. Got the rules for the Stormcast Eternals and the Royal Beast Flayers with all the reactions and doubles, triples, and quads. Those also come on a card. It's got rules for the terrain. So rib cages are still deadly terrain and obstacles. The Realm Shaper engine is pretty cool. It has a triple ability where you can use it to shoot other pieces of terrain and then damage stuff that is next to that piece of terrain. If the person controlling it is Seraph, but it also does damage back to whoever's using the action. If they're Seraphon or Huntress Huanshi, it's reduced damage. And if they're Seraphon, Huntress Huanshi with a Priest or Mystic rune mark, then they don't take any damage. So you want to get your Priests and your Mystics up there if you're a Seraphon Warband. And the Gnarl Oaks. Obstacles, low terrain, rope bridges. Those can still be cut. Alright, so I guess this is the actual campaign. So we got the quest for the Quester Soulsworn. And the Royal Beast Flayers quests. And the campaign arc Storm of Madness, which I believe can be played with any warband. I haven't read through this. You'd have to like sort of modify stuff, I guess, so that it doesn't reference them all the time. And then they have another campaign arc, Realm Shaper Wars, for 4 to 6 players. So that's pretty cool. And battle plan generator with layouts using this set, which there are also cards for, which we'll look at in a bit. Next, here we've got the instructions for assembling them. And so each of the Soulsworn are going to have multiple ways to build it. So here, this one you can build the Night Relictor or an Errant Quester with Great Blade or an Errant Quester with Grand Hammer. I'm sure they have different stats. though maybe not, but I assume they do. This one you can build as a Quester Prime, or an Aaron Quester with Great Axe, or an Aaron Quester with Great Spear. This one, the Duelist with the Twin Blades, or an Aaron Quester with Grand Hammer, Aaron Quester with Grand Axe. And then we got the Beast Flayers. So yeah, you can build them with either a spear or an axe, the Royal Flame Master. And there are 2 choices of head. I guess one's supposed to be male and one's female, something like that. Both of them will be covered by some cloth mostly, so. Let's see other options. For the Beast Flare Baron, you can either choose to have the one hand with a broken blade or just his hand. The Squires, you can choose different arms. Barehanded or holding stuff. I'm not sure if that affects them at all. I think the ghoul trackers just go together one way. Yeah, the instructions for the Realm Shaper engine. So like I said, it's like 1 sprue doubled, and you'll be building the 2 halves and then stick them together. And building the assembly at the top. And then Scatter Terrain, Gnarl Oaks. And there's the, that's it. So I guess we can quickly look at these. So I'll bring this in definitely. So this is the Quester Soulsworn fighter types. They have as a general reaction Swift Retribution. A fighter can make this reaction when they are targeted by a melee attack action after the damage is totaled but before it is allocated to this fighter. If it is enough for this fighter to be taken down, pick another friendly fighter. That fighter makes a bonus move attack action or a bonus attack action. So that's cool. That's a good reaction. Obviously, if one of yours gets taken out, another one can sort of make an action because they're sort of inspired to great acts of heroism, I guess, from seeing their compatriot go down. And we have different doubles, triples, and quads. You can take a look at those. I know this one is only for the Knight Relictor, I believe. And he can translocate someone. It's a quad. You pick a friendly fighter within 3 inches of this fighter, remove that fighter from the battlefield, and then immediately set them up anywhere on the battlefield more than 4 inches from all enemy fighters. So that seems pretty powerful. And then the Royal Beast Flayers. Their reaction is Tenacious Hunters. After a visible enemy fighter within 1 inch of this fighter makes a disengage action, allocate D3 damage points to that fighter. So if they try and disengage from you, you can get some pot shots in to try and discourage them from trying to disengage. I don't know how often disengaging really happens. Doesn't seem as interesting as the Quester Soulsworn reaction, that's for sure. And yeah, here are our abilities. We'll look at the quad again because, you know, it's the big one. So no rest till our quest is done. Until the end of the battle round, add 2 to the strength characteristic of melee attack actions made by visible friendly fighters while they are within 6 inches of this fighter. I'm guessing this is the Flame Master only. It looks like he'd have another attack that's just his, another action that's his Pack Tactics. Pick an enemy fighter that is visible to this fighter. Allocate a number of damage points to that enemy fighter equal to twice the number of friendly fighters within 3 inches of that enemy fighter. So that really rewards swarming one enemy and then just using that to just tear them up. So if you had like 4 models around it, 8 damage. It's pretty cool. Very flavorful for flesh eater quartz, I think. And I'm going to look at these just because I want to see if it includes cards for what's in here and what's in Heart of Gur. Because I think the others have done that. There's like some of them are just for what's in here, but then they also have some that are more expanded. So I'm very confidently and without any awkwardness taking that off. So let me just, all right, well, yeah, we got the warband cards there. We'll look at them in a second. So here we have the layouts. So yeah, this involves both of them. So you can see this has the symbol, so that's just from here. This has that symbol, and then this symbol here, the tree, which is the Heart of Gur set. So that's cool. Oh, okay. It has this set, and I don't know, I think that's Sundered Fate. Yeah, I don't see any walls. That's cool. Oh, and this is this is this set, Heart of Gur and Sundered Fate. So is that. So there's none that involve Bloodhunt. Of course, you can set up your battlefield however you want. So these are just suggestions for if you want to randomly generate one. Let's take a quick look at the cards. So they are backwards in terms of how cool they are. So these are just the trackers. They are cheap and weak. But I think they're there more to tie up enemies and to do the pack tactics. And these are the slightly larger ones. The Ghoul Gore Squires. So it doesn't matter how you equip them, because each one has like a optional hand they can use, and it still does the same. And they're a bit beefier than the trackers, but still, you know, not great. Here we have the Awful Hounds. And these are better, like 18 wounds, 7 movement. That's very fast. 3 attacks, strength 4, 2/4 damage. So that's 2 normal 4 on crits. Here's the Baron. He's actually got less than the Awful Hounds at 16 wounds. Same attack profile here. But I mean, he's also 15 points cheaper, so that makes sense. And the Flame Master with 20 wounds, 5 movement, 4 toughness, a range of 2, so that's nice. And yeah, whatever you equip him with, it doesn't matter. 3 attacks, 4 strength, 3 damage, 5 on a crit. So that's definitely like your strongest fighter, which makes sense because this is the leader. So now we'll look at the Quester's Soulsworn. This is the Duelist. 4 movement, so kind of slow. 20 toughness, 20 wounds, toughness 5. Range 1, 5 attacks, strength 4, 2, 3. 460. And then we have the Greatsword. So same stats here. 1 less strength, 1 more attack, 1 more crit damage from the Duelist, and 5 more points. This is the Great Axe, I'm thinking. Grand Axe, yeah. So compared to the Great Blade, It's 3 attacks instead of 4, but 1 more crit damage in the same points. So you can take either more attacks, less damage, or less attacks, more damage on crits. No, it's difficult. I kind of think throwing more dice is useful. But I mean, you can just make one of each and do it like that. This is the Grand Spear, which has... Oh, also, this Great Axe has 2 range versus the 1 range of the sword. Oh, that makes a big difference. That makes a big difference. And this is the Grand Spear, which has 3 range, 3 attacks, 5 strength, 2 5. So that is like a Great Axe, except with 1 more range and 5 more points. And here we have the Knight Relictor. So he's got 2 attacks profiles. One is a ranged one, 8 range, 2 attacks, 4 strength, 3 5 damage. And then his hammer is 1 range, 3 attacks, 4 strength, 3 4 damage. So I mean, the ranged one is better, I think. Well, I guess this is 3 attacks, so maybe in close combat you do want to use that, but this just seems strong. Here's the Grand Hammer. So it is range 1. Surprised it's range 1 when the axe is 2, but 3 attacks, 6 strength, 3 4 damage. So this is a guy you want to use to take out like tougher enemies. And then the Quester Prime, 2 range, 4 strength, 4 attacks, 4 strength, 2 4. So that's nice. And so this one is 170. The Spear is 170. Duelist is 160. And all the others are 165. And they all have the same profile here of 4 movement, 20 wounds, 5 toughness. Cool. And finally, we are going to look at some sprues. So I guess we can look at the Realm Shaper sprue first. So this is a different kit than the one that you can get for the Seraphon army. It's a bit smaller, I believe. And there's only one side. The other one is sort of 2 sides. So one side is like sort of ruins and stuff, overgrown. And the other side would be nice and pristine, but we just get this side. Kind of bamboo platform so you can attach the bridges to it. Some cool snakes here. There's half of the engine crystal. It's got a bit of damage to it. And yeah, some just cool little Seraphon glyphs and stuff on all over this. Like that. That'll be the where the crystal sits. So you get 2 of those. I guess we can quickly look at the Gnarlooks. So this is one. This is actually the one Gnarlook I've put together so far, and I screwed it up. Be very careful when building the sort of main trunk, so the part that attaches to the bottom of this. It's got 4 pieces in like a cylinder, and yeah, just be careful. But it's just the standard one. No extra bits for it. And this is the other one that is built on the big like chunk of spine there. It has 2 smaller platforms on it, so a bit of a height difference in them. And then here we have the bridges and sort of scatter terrain. If you have any of the boxes, you're familiar with this. You know, it's nice to always have more bridges, but some of these scatter pieces are getting quite repetitive. But yeah, just dropped my glasses, so there's that. Okay, so now on to the warbands. So here is the sprue for the Questor Soulsworn. So you get 2 of these sprues. So each of these is 1. And yeah, so this one can be built either as the Questor Prime with like the lantern, or with a great axe or a great spear. This one can be built either as a duelist or a great axe or sorry about that. As you heard, the phone rang. So, oh yeah, that's the weapon for the prime. Wait, all right, I'm not even sure what's going on anymore. Maybe not each part is separated per body. So this is the Night Relictor's artifact and hammer. And there's the Great Blade and the Great Hammer. So yeah, this must be the weapon for the Questor Prime. It's really nice to see shoulders that are whole and not cut down the middle. That's great. Really nice detail on all this. Got some fun ribbons going. The definitely not purity seal papers. That's a pretty cool shoulder. That's probably for the Night Relictor. They have skulls. There's different animals here, like this is like an ox, it looks like, or a bull. This might be a lion or a bear. I wonder if you're supposed to, like, depending on which weapon you give them, it defines which shoulder they have. I'm not sure. The ghouls. So let's move this out of here. So, yep. Lots of gross skin and fur. The Awful Hounds have like skeletons choked in their back hair, which is lovely. I love it, sure. Flesh Eater, of course, has been one that hasn't really, it's an army that hasn't really appealed to me just because, like, especially like the base ghoul kit is just old and ugly in my opinion. But like these ghouls and the ghouls from Underworlds, they've all looked good. And I'm hoping that there's sort of a range refresh coming in the next year. I know their Battle Tome hasn't come out yet. And yeah, they could just really use a refresh. Play more into looking like these ghouls that think that they're royalty or squires or knights or stuff like that. Because any of the modern miniatures they made, like the Archregent, have looked really cool. But yeah, there we got the Awful Hound head. Yeah, okay, so Ew, I just noticed this. The arm for the Flame Master, which has the weapon, it's like jammed into like the forearm, and it looks like the hand of that is just hanging down. Ugh. That is gross, but also really, really cool. Very metal. Okay, so I think I'm going to be ending the video there. I'd say this is a pretty good box. The terrain, this is like the first time I actually felt sort of annoyed by the terrain. The Realm Shaper engine's cool, but I just wish they'd added some stuff to make the duplicate trees just slightly different in some way. Maybe like some bits of ruin that are like embedded in the trees or something. But it is what it is. It'll be interesting to see what things are like going forward. I'm not sure I'll get the starter set because I already have both the warbands in there. There's like a couple new bits of terrain, but I don't think it's worth just getting that for those. Guess we'll see what else is in it, if there's like new tokens or something like that, but I don't think so. So I will probably pass on that one. And then we'll see what comes after that. I know they're going to bring out, they list like the factions that of the warbands they'll release, and there's a couple order, a couple death, I think, and maybe a chaos one. I think there was no destruction, but I'm not positive on that. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw like the Realm Shaper engine or the towers and that, or the palisades released separately in little boxes. Hopefully, because not everyone could get these. You know, GW's been plagued by low print runs, partially because they've just been slammed with business. Like, it's funny, this got really popular. Like, all of the GW product lines got very popular during the pandemic, even though people weren't really able to get out and go to games and that much. And they just were not prepared for the increased sales. And also recently, like Kill Team, it's been terrible. I managed to find a box of Gallo Fall after it had been released. And that should be here in the next couple of days, and I'll do a unboxing for that. But I couldn't so far find Ashes of Faith, which I really wanted, which was the sort of narrative campaign box with the Inquisition and the Chaos Cults. I really wanted to get that box, and I'm hoping, once again, after it's like released, some of the online stores will then put it up, because a lot of them didn't have it up for pre-order, and I think they just don't usually put pre-orders up for Games Workshop. So fingers crossed. Anyways, this has been almost 40 minutes, so I'm going to end it now. If you're one of the 2 people still watching, thank you. If you liked it, like and subscribe. Wow, enunciation. Leave comments, please. Just, you know, what you didn't like about this, what you did, what you think of the warbands, terrain. How do you feel about the Gnarlwood sort of season we had with the 4 boxes? Do you think that was something you like, or would you rather just sort of like 1 box and then lots of smaller releases? I think I'd kind of like to go back to 1 box and lots of smaller releases. But yeah, so we'll see how the next year goes with that. I'm a bit rusty. It's been a while since I've made videos. I'm doing a bunch of unboxings today so that I can work on putting other various things together. And then later down the line, I'll tape them, record the finished products. Not for this. I'm not putting this together anytime soon, but for other stuff, and then I'll put videos out. but it's going to be spotty. Kind of like my hands right now. I've got some kind of like allergic reaction going on there. Fun. Sorry if that's gross. Anyways, yeah, now it is over 40 minutes. So until next time, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.